Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video I'm trying something a little bit new, and that is making a video that documents and kind of records my goal to improve my chess rating. And I'm thinking I'm going to shoot for like 1990 or 1999 or something like that. Getting above 1900 would be friggin' awesome. I've been playing chess for a long time, but I've always been like mediocre at best, and I've never formally gotten any training or really tried to get better. But I was watching a YouTube channel just a minute ago, which gave me this idea. This is Chess with Patrick, and just a regular guy who's learning and trying to get better at chess. He's recording his games. Seems pretty cool to me. And basically, I'm thinking this process of sharing games on YouTube or with others that might be interested, it's probably a good way to add a little bit of accountability to a goal. And maybe it helps encourage us trying to learn, maybe to talk out loud our thought processes and see, kind of what we're thinking, and then maybe go back and figure out what we're missing. So Patrick, he's got a goal to get to 2,000. That sounds pretty good to me. My goal was kind of get into the 1,800, 1,900 range. 1999 sounds like a great goal to have. But I don't know how long that takes or how committed I'm going to be to it. I'm going to go ahead and start off here. And you can see my ratings so far on chess.com. They've been like this for a while, I guess. I think my daily rating should be higher. I played a lot of daily games, but that seems to be lower than some of these other things like Bullet or Rapid for sure. But I think I'm going to try to focus on Rapid. I follow John Bartholomew on YouTube, and he always recommends, and it sounds like good advice, play slower games if you want to get better. You're not going to get better if you keep playing Blitz and Bullet. Those can be fun and entertaining, but if you want to get better, play slower games. And I think he recommends minimum of like 15-minute games. But I'm going to go ahead and start off a game right now. And let's see, I will play. And I'm going to play online. And I'm going to go for I'll just do a 10-minute flat game. And we'll see how this one goes. All right. And I don't know the names of any of the openings, but obviously that looks like a pretty standard opening. E4, E5. Okay, so we're going to those knight defenses. He can bring his bishop out somewhere. I'm assuming right over here. What is that, C4? Nope. Okay, so what is it? It's the four knights. Again, I don't know the formal names for openings. I've done enough where I kind of start to see some patterns and what I should pull out. I'm going to get this dark squared bishop out, so that way I can bring forward my D pawn, get that outside and working. Okay, so it looks like we have pretty similar positions here. His light squared bishop wants to move over here to G5 and pin my knight. And since I don't have a quick and obvious way to get my queen out, obviously I can move it over to the E file. But I'm going to push up my H pawn just to kind of take away that dark square. Now, white already has their bishop protecting that rook. So, although I might be tempted to do a pin, I've never done arrows before on chess.com. I don't know if I have to turn that setting on or not, so I'll have to experiment with that. So, I don't think I want to do this, certainly now. They're attacking my dark squared bishop. I don't want to take, because that's just going to open up the F file for their rook. So I don't think I want to do that yet. So I'm just going to back it up a notch. They may still take, and I'll take back with a pawn. So they're moving in on the queen side there. I guess that makes sense. So I guess so far I feel like I'm kind of being a little bit passive. No logic in taking that pawn. They would retake my knight. I could take their rook, but then their queen would have control over that file. I still haven't developed my dark squared, or I'm sorry, my light squared bishop. So I'll move that one out. And if they scare my horse away, I'll just move it over here and then over here. And then hopefully I can get it up here. Actually, that might be good logic even if they don't try to scare it away. So yeah, I'm going to reroute this knight and see if I can't land on that f4 square. And I guess I could go into settings and change out to arrows, but I've never done that before, so I know it would take me a little bit of time, so I don't want to burn too much time. So I'll do that after, see if I can't figure it out. I'm going to keep going with that plan. I've got these doubled pawns over here. I should probably remedy that. I suppose at some point I can move this pawn forward, encourage a take or something like that, and then maybe I could kind of repair my pawn structure. And so what is it? It's September 29th, and I'm at 1651. My opponent is 1608 from China, Turkey. Okay, so what are they doing here? They're threatening this knight, but obviously I could take that and just take their queen. They're going to retake with their queen. Retake the bishop, I mean. They're going to retake with their queen. It's going to get their queen into the action, but it's also going to get rid of their bishop. And so I'll have a bishop and knight against their two knights. I think I might be okay with that. I mean, I could ignore it. Still go with my original plan. Knight to f4. But then they're going to have to act, right? Because there's going to be two attackers on their light squared bishop. And I'll do that because maybe it seems a little bit more forceful on my end too. Instead of me reacting so much to what they're doing, make them react to what I'm doing. And now they have to move that bishop again, which is good, I believe, right? If you make your opponent move the same piece twice in a row or 3 times in a row, that's good for you. I can't remember if it's tempo or tempi, or one of them is singular. Okay, well, I got my horse there, but what do I want to do next? I don't want to necessarily take their bishop just because it's going to get their knight back out into a good square. And if they take my bishop, it lets me open up the F file, which I think I want to do. So let me go ahead and start to take away this square right here or I'll do that repair plan. Yeah, I'm going to do the repair plan, see if I can't get these double pawns uncoupled. If he just pushes down, I have to come up with something else, I guess. All right. Yeah, that's cool. I've got double pawns again, but he may take that pressure away from me. If he goes for this horse on f4, that'll let me take with a pawn, and I'll repair that pawn structure there. This is risky, right? Putting the horse over on the H file. Of course, I can take back here. That's no big deal. But I'd like to get my queen out. If I can get my queen out in here and really start to work on an attack on this king side. All right, I'm gonna go for it. But I'll have to take back with the knight to get that off the h-file, because as soon as he moves his knight, the queen is going to have an open attack there. Yeah, I'm tempted to move to g5 with the queen, but I don't think that's going to be good because he can just move his knight to f3 and scare me away. Here's an option. Take this pawn, they take back, I take their rook, they take my rook, and then my knight can take this underprotected pawn. And I guess I didn't realize I'm actually already up a pawn, which is good. So if I can get up 2 pawns, I'll go ahead and do this. And they're going to have to really take it, I'm sure, right? And then that'll let me jump over here, grab that pawn. So I'm not necessarily happy with my pawn structure, but I think it's better than theirs. I mean, I've got 5 pawns kind of roughly in the center of the board. They've got these 3. Got to move this back. Ooh, I've got some potential here. I've got a potential for a fork on their king and their queen. So I just grab this, get rid of that defender on that e2 square. They're going to take it back, I imagine. Doesn't matter if they take with the queen, doesn't matter if they take with the pawn, because then I can just hop right over here. Ooh, they saw it. So obviously they're not taking back, which I'm okay with as well, I suppose. Oh, cool. Okay, so player resigned. Now I do know it's important, and this is also something I'm learning from like John Bartholomew on his YouTube channel. He's a really good chess player. I think he's an IM. And he recommends obviously doing the game reviews after the fact. And he even encourages us to not do this. Here, I'll click on this real quick. This analysis where they kind of go through and they show you all the moves and stuff like that. I think he'll look at this briefly, but he really encourages to go through the analysis where you're actually looking at the moves. So that is a habit I do want to get into, but I'm not going to make that part of the video. I guess I am happy that I've got accuracy in the low 80s, which I can get sometimes, but sometimes I'm in the mid upper 70s. So I think anything where I'm in the low 80s and hopefully getting better at that is going to be a good sign. I didn't make any blunders. Apparently I did a miss, so I'm assuming that means I had a really good move that I missed and didn't see it, several inaccuracies and things like that. So I will go through this a little bit later on and just kind of see what I should have done better. But if I go back to the analysis and I think, yeah, pretty standard opening, I gather. And if I'm looking over here, it looks like white has a slight advantage. That could have been just because white started first, but it doesn't like my bishop move there. So at this position, if I'm looking at this, they're saying one of the best moves for me would have been, yeah, bishop c5. That's what I did, right? Yeah, I'm still new enough that, yeah, I guess I can read these, but sometimes it doesn't make quick sense to me. Like when you watch other, like serious chess players look at this, they can just glance at this and see kind of what the best move was. But usually the best move is the top one. And so for them, they should do a knight takes e5. So if they did something like that, they would have compelled me to do this, and then they would have done this fork. Okay, but I prevent that. Okay, well, I said I wasn't going to show you this phase, and I'll stick to that. Yeah, I definitely want to study this because I think that's going to be a key ingredient to getting better, is not just playing the games, but actually thinking about them afterwards and what I should have done or could have done a little bit differently. So thank you very much for hanging out with me on my inaugural YouTube channel video series. I haven't come up with a name for it yet. Maybe I'll steal Patrick's name. He's got Chess with Patrick, Journey to 2000. So yeah, I think I'll drop him a message in his YouTube channel and let him know what's going on mine. So thanks. Take care.